Okay, yo, so there's something I want to talk about, and that is college dining halls. Specifically, my own dining hall, which harken back to the days of eating the absolute slop they'd serve us at school lunch, you know, if you grew up in the USA. Where do I start with this? So, I go to a school where there's really good outcomes for people, and I say about like 90% of the money goes towards academics, which is great. Okay, that's what we go to college for, right? Is to get smarter, okay? Here's the thing. Besides from like the money going to like the football team and all that, which that's cool and all, but first of all, I'm not a football player, and second of all, I really want to like eat decent food. The rest of it is pretty much kapoof and is barely like distributed amongst the rest of the things going on. So one of those being our dining hall. Now, there's plenty of moments where I've had to eat beans with rice and French fries. Zero nutritional value beyond the beans. Horrible dinner, and I got tons of memes and people making jokes. But there is one specific day I want to bring up. That day was when we found the chicken to defeat all horrible, god awful chicken cooked. So, here we go. We come to the dining hall one day, and there's pretty much nothing to eat. Like, there's just nothing. Like, half the stations are empty, and the other half is just pure slop. It's like food you don't even want to eat. And let me emphasize before I even get into this is that the dining hall workers are really chill, and it's not like they're coming up with these meals in the first place. They're just serving the food. Okay, like I really want to emphasize that. I've had great discussions with them. Anyway, we go through, we get some food, and we sit down. I think I just got like some like kidney beans, rice, and some vegetables. And I remember we passed by this one station. And this station in particular had some chicken there. Or I don't know if chicken would be the right description. Because we went over there and we just saw a bunch of like gray meat connected to weird curving skeletons. If you've ever seen the cover for Doom, like id Software, like Doom guy and all that, standing on top of a pile of rubble, fighting a bunch of demons. Now, think that scene. And then think of it, like take that whole scene and then put it into a pan of chicken. Into like just a metal pan. That's what that looked like. So, you know, um, if it goes without saying that nobody actually wanted to eat any of that, and it got left alone. But you see, there is two people who thought differently. Two people who thought that they could make a discovery. What discovery was this going to be? Just how bad the dining hall food can get. You see, we decided that we were going to try the vulture meat. And this all started because I was like to my roommate, yo, bro, let me go. I wonder what that chicken looks like up close, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, it's looking pretty bad. He's like, nah, like, let's go get some. Like, let's just like put it on the plate. And I'm like, yeah, well, I don't want to use my plate. He's like, nah, bro, I'll go get a plate. He's like, I'll do it, bro. I'm like, I don't even want to be close to that. So he goes over there. He gets the plate of chicken. He sits there and unironically looks that worker dead in the eye and says, let me get some chicken. Let me get this particular chicken. I don't even think the worker understood that. Because that worker was standing as far as possible away from that chicken. He brings the chicken over to the table. And immediately I stare at it. First of all, it's like a freaking gray mass of meat. Honestly, if I even put a picture of that food on here, I'd probably get this video marked for 18 plus only. So we sat down. We cut into it. Immediately, knockings, blasted by the salty like smell. That's just like it's decaying. It's like I don't know what it was. It made me start gagging. And immediately, I'm wondering, okay, one, why did we bring this to this table? Two, why in the hell is this being served to anybody at all within this entire school. Where is our tuition check going to? I mean, like, what the hell are we serving? What is this? It makes way more sense with a picture. Okay? But there's like half of it is like dried out into like just a husk, like a skeleton. And then the other half is just like this undercooked boiled chicken with no flavor and the worst salty smell in the world. I don't know what kind of gravy they put on it, but it was like this, like, just slightly yellow, like packaged, like awful smelling and probably tasting gravy. We didn't even decide to buy it. We didn't even decide to bite into the chicken. We just sat it away and we just kept trying to eat our food. But the problem is that the chicken was so, I don't know how to pronounce this word. Pungent? Is that the word? Is that how I pronounce it? Pungent? I'm not sure. It was so incredibly strong that we were gagging as we were trying to eat, and we almost like felt like we were about to bubble up and throw up on the table. And that would have been bad because we're in the middle of the dining hall. We have like literally nowhere else to like, like throw up at. Okay? We immediately had to dispose of the chicken, but how? That was the thing. We didn't want to just like throw out a whole thing of chicken. And don't get me wrong, look, man, I really hate to be wasting food, okay? Because there's this, like, I try to use and eat every single scrap of food I can, but this was genuinely food that we probably would have ended up throwing up anyway, and therefore it still would have been not used for any nutritional value at all within our bodies and wasted as a result, okay? We had to devise a heist. How are we going to get the vulture skeletons? Okay, we described it as vulture skeletons, moose ankles, I don't know, like freaking bull hooves. I don't know. Okay, it was awful. Or it was freaking I don't know. It was the worst food ever. Anyways, we had to devise a GTA heist to be able to get all the way across the dining hall without it being noticed because we didn't want to just throw out a whole thing of chicken. So we covered it up with a bunch of napkins and then covered it up with a fork as well to kind of make it seem like, oh yeah, like this is just a bunch of napkins and it was like a few like little drumsticks of chicken and all that was being hidden. But underneath was the most horrendous, most worst piece of freaking meat you've ever seen in your entire life. One step, okay? We got across. We got there. We got halfway through the dining hall. Okay? We kept going. One step at a time. Eventually, we got away with it. But the silver lining here is that I'm very appreciative to be able to cook my own food at home. And so in memoriam of such a fantastic event, I've grilled my own chicken because it looked like some sauteed spinach and some rice. Because one, eating out is too expensive right now with shrinkflation being at an all-time high and absolutely ruining everything in my life. And two, it just tastes so much better than what I could get for like the same price, So, what is the point in this video? I don't know. Honestly, I remember going to other dining halls at some other universities while visiting friends, and sleeping on the floors in their dorms in other cities, and being like, "Wow, this food is so good." And the thing is that we went to this one college and like I don't want to name off any colleges, but like like the boiling root beers, like the bottles, like the really nice ones. They had those in a vending machine. Okay? Compare that to us. We had Coca-Cola freestyles, don't get me wrong, but they never had any drinks in them in the first place. There was nothing to drink. Okay, half the time they're empty. I remember one time we couldn't even get water out of it. It didn't even, I don't even know what the point of having it was. One day, all of them were broken. There was like a can. There's just like a whole bucket of like iced, like like freaking water bottles and Coca-Cola cans and stuff like that. And I was like, oh my god. Just where is our money going to? The dining hall has lots of stories, and I could probably go into more of them, but this was just one. This was the story of the vulture skeleton, of the baked vulture skeletons and the moose ankles. And anyway, eat some delightful food and take care. I don't really know what I'm gonna do now. Yeah, anyway, peace.